into a shredder just before the opening ceremony of the World Cup and stream it live on a website I've registered called benderslikebeckham.com. Not just the money, but also your status as a gay icon will be shredded.
Now, I remember in the height of all this, I messaged you and said that people complain about the money, which has brought so much publicity. Most charities would spend that money on booking a meeting room. Because I actually thought you were going to shred the money. I just thought that 10 grand for the amount of publicity you got was of course you didn't. You gave the money to charities anyway. Was it a success, do you think, given that you didn't actually persuade David Beckham to do anything?
No, I don't think it was a success. And not, when we do things on your back, we want some sort of movement. We want some money back or whatever it is. And so in that way, no, it wasn't. I think I was expecting a little bit of press. I thought there'd be some local, like UK-based press and a bit of interest. I wasn't expecting it to go global in the way that it did. I mean, there were news stories, multiple in America and Indonesia and Brazil and Netherlands. I mean, it was all over the world. And I can't remember the name of the publication, but there's a publication that estimated that the amount of press generated was in the region of worth about £2.8 billion if I wanted to get that amount with advertising or whatever. So in that way, it was a success. I think I did get my point across. I think I got people talking about it in a way that maybe they wouldn't have done before, which is good. But we can talk as much as we like, but actually there's a real problem in Qatar and with a lot of other countries, by the way. It's not just Qatar, but you have to kind of pick your battles. And at the minute, there's this focus on Qatar with the World Cup, and I thought that would be the perfect thing to disrupt and to kind of make a bit of a splash about, I suppose. So yeah, I always knew that I would never hear from David Beckham. Somebody who, I don't remember who it was who said it to me, but they were saying that, like, I was trying to get hold of his number that week and just see if I could just ring him. And everyone that I spoke to basically said that he's one of those sort of people. Certain people get so famous and they sort of become like lizard people, and it's actually they don't have a number. They're just sort of this sort of
they don't have a phone
thing. They just have people that nearby who like don't have the who hold a phone for them and all that. And so I kind of knew I would never hear from him. But he was a sort of a perfect kind of emblem, I suppose, of the way that a lot of brands, particularly, and a lot of institutions sort of pretend to be allies of the LGBT community until it's inconvenient for them. And I would add the FA into that group, actually. I mean, I had some conversation with the FA, and they had sort of directed me to their statement about the One Love armband and how proud they were of all that. Well, we know where we got to with that, don't we? It's and I'm loath to sort of and I won't sort of attack any of the footballers and all that, because actually they might never get to do a World Cup again, and it's their careers, and I think fair play to them. They're in a really tricky situation, and I'm sure they've all got individual opinions on it. But I felt that David Beckham, he isn't being paid by FIFA or the World Cup. He's being paid by Qatar, allegedly. That's been backed up by Gary Neville, who said it on the Guardian podcast. So I'm fairly sure that's what's been happening. And I think actually, if you're being paid by the country, and the country has those rules, you should, if you're saying come to Qatar, it's a brilliant place, you should be able to defend why, why it's good to come to Qatar if you're an LGBT person, why it's safe. But nobody can, because it's not safe. And in my programme that's on Thursday, we speak to the first openly gay Qatari who makes the very good point, which is it might be one thing that it's illegal to be gay, the state will kind of prosecute or potentially kill you if you're Muslim. They haven't actually ever used the death penalty on a gay person in Qatar thus far, but it is part of their legislation. But actually the reality of being gay just on a ground level in Qatar is impossible. I mean, he's called Dr. Nasser Mohammed, who is the first openly gay Qatari. He now lives in America and has constant threats against him. It's not safe to be, he'll never see his family and his friends again because of who he is, literally because of how he was born and who he chooses to, not even chooses, how he was born to love, And so my issue is that, like, if I was born in Qatar, I would not be allowed to be me, essentially. So it's a sort of selfish thing of going, I'm sticking up for people like me, and I don't want to be prosecuted wherever I go, just for being me. So that's it, really. That's the point I'm trying to make, and I think I've made it. But I ultimately would like to see a world where no LGBT person is has any inequality as a result of who they are.
But you know, before we get there, at least maybe people not taking money from countries like that. So it's called Joe Lycett versus David Beckham and Got Your Back Christmas special. It's Channel 4, 9 o'clock this Thursday. And so what does 2023 hold in store for you? Are you going to get even more? Who's your next target for next year?
I haven't got like a list of targets. I mean, I do have things that I would really like to take on, and I think the biggest sort of injustice that has happened in our lifetimes really is Grenfell and the way that that's been handled. I think that there's still a complete void of justice, a complete lack of justice for the victims of Grenfell. But things like that, you have to be very careful about not sort of try to swoop in and get involved in something that you don't know a lot about, and you might not help, but you might make worse. So if I was confident I had a good idea that I think could help there, I would absolutely do it. But thus far, I've not come up with it. So it might be something around the Grenfell thing, but it might be a lot smaller things that, like we do on Got Your Back, and on the Christmas special we deal with a few like tiny little things. And one which I loved, a guy. He bought, as Liz Truss became Prime Minister, he bought, I think, 500, he designed 500 Liz Truss dog toys, which didn't even arrive before she was ousted. And now he's got a bathtub full of Liz Truss dog toys. So we try and solve that problem for him. We can't shift it. Yeah. I put a few off him because they're hilarious. But
it's a good funny Christmas.
Yeah. It's a good Christmas present. Yeah. So little things to me.
Your plans for Christmas? Do you go big on Christmas?
No, I'll be at home with mum and dad and my sister and her fiance, and it'll be very quiet for me. It's been a busy year. I'm going to go off grid for a bit.
Well, we look forward to coming back on grid next year. Joe, it's been lovely to speak to you.
So nice to speak to you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Happy Merry Christmas, exactly. We're now allowed to do that because it's only 2 weeks to go. Merry Christmas to you, Joe Lycett.
Thank you.
Bye. That's Joe Lycett. You can catch Joe Lycett versus David Beckham. The Got Your Back Christmas specials, Channel 4, 9 o'clock this Thursday, 15th December. You'll be able to watch it back afterwards as well. Lovely to Joe Lycett. And of course, if you've only just tuned in, A, where have you been? B, you can catch up later, either on the Times Radio app or on the Red Box podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Right, up next, we'll try and find Mariella. If she's here, she can have a mince pie. And we'll also do our Leader of the Opposition of the Week after we get the latest news from Bob Malarkey.
Across the UK, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. This is
They won by just 26 runs in Multan with a day to spare. Stokes told Pakistan Cricket, on a pitch that favours spinners, England's hard-working seamers clinched it.
Jimmy, Robbo and Woody have put in an amazing performance for England this week. So, hats off to the lads. And yet again, there's some seriously tight bodies up there. Everyone's flew into this and, we've achieved something really special this week as the England cricket team.
While the future is bright and clear for the cricket team, there's uncertainty for the footballers. Their defeat to France in the World Cup quarter-final on Saturday has left manager Gareth Southgate pondering his position. He says he needs to decide if he has the energy to continue, adding that parts of the last 18 months have left him conflicted. Fans turned on him at points during a period in between major tournaments that included some difficult results. A fellow former England manager Glenn Hoddle told us if Southgate goes, it may not be the end of his international football journey.
He's young enough to actually come back again as an England manager in the future. So he's got that option as well, don't forget. He's done that well a job. And at the end of the day, I think there's a few things still missing there. Of course there is. If not, would have been winning tournaments.
It looks like an independent regulator for English football will happen. A compromise which Liz Truss favoured that would have seen a new licensing body sitting alongside the Football Association has been ruled out. Rishi Sunak's government will unveil details of its plans in the new year. And if sports stars are often good at more than one sport, Formula One's world champion has revealed sometimes your professional pursuit scuppers your other sporting dreams. Max Verstappen says he's been given the chance to ride a MotoGP motorbike at maximum speeds of up to 220 miles an hour and is desperate to do so. But unless he retires, it seems we won't get to see it. The Dutchman says his team Red Bull insists he's not allowed. You can read more on these stories on the Times website or app.
This is Times Radio.
Romeo was struggling to find the perfect Christmas present for Juliet. Luckily, he saved big on Amazon and bought a pair of walkie-talkies.
Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo?
Just heading to the balcony, my love.
Roger that.
Find perfect last-minute Christmas deals at Amazon. Ends 22nd of December.
Matt Chorley on Times Radio.
Very good morning. Nice to have you with us. Nice to speak to Joe Lycett on the big thing today. Hopefully Marielle will be here in a minute. We'll do the coffee break. But first, I've been asking for, given that nothing appears to be working in the country, what have you been meant to fix, which I haven't yet got round to? Paul says we had a leak from our bathroom to the kitchen ceiling. It took 3 years to get the ceiling patched. The builder was in for another job. Oh, Christmas kiss of Marielle Foster. I'm never washing again. What was Paul saying? It's the second Christmas the ceiling still hasn't been painted, but the plaster is better, which is something. Tony says my student house, the sink was always full of mouldy dishes, so we solved it with paper plates. And Lindsay says we've lived in our house for 6 years and still can't work out the eccentric heating system. It's like a lucky dip. You just press a few buttons and see what heats up. We'll sort it out one day. 87222, start messing with the word Times. You can tweet using the hashtag Times Radio. Email me matt@times.radio. The thing that you've been trying to get round to fixing. Do you see? Fix you on the bagpipes. Morning.
Morning.
I made it
Welcome
back. I made it back.
Yeah, and you've got a little bit of a sort of wind tan.
Face.
You have, gosh, you've got a little bit of a fatter face. No, I was not going to say that. I was going to say that you've got a little bit of a wind tan going. What's that?
This is my bank card.
Oh, I thought you were going to show me your special card for the captain's table or something.
No, we couldn't get near the captain because of the COVID.
Oh, is this it? They call it? No, it's because there's got such a hierarchy on that
Yeah,
boat. Did you get anywhere near those glamorous cabins?
No,
Did you see
the
them?
ones upstairs, yeah.
Oh my goodness, Sebastian Folkes was staying in one of them. when I
Oh,
went on
was
the
he?
boat.
Yeah, Ian Rankin was on ours.
Seriously.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
But it looks incredible. It's like, I'll just describe it to listeners. It's floor-to-ceiling glass.
Yeah.
It's like a duplex that faces out onto the ocean, doesn't it?
So we should explain. This was the Times and
Everyone
Sunday Times
knows.
Total Literature Festival. See? Well, I know, because in this slot all last week, you and Patrick were speculating I wasn't really on the liner.
Yeah, but I've got a few questions here. I'm going to do a quiz on you
Go
in
on
a
then.
minute to check whether you were on the liner. Okay, what floor is the buffet on?
7.
What's the name of the theatre?
The Royal Court Theatre and Illuminations.
good. What floor is the captain's special table dinner on?
I don't know because I wasn't invited.
Yeah, but I will find out just to,
Just
you know,
to go peer through the
just to
glass.
be really annoyed. What is the balcony like on your cabin?
It was all right. Well, I mean, I didn't go out there very often. It was like a metal box with a big hole in it
Yeah,
inside.
basically. Okay, so you definitely were
Yeah,
there.
definitely was there.
And sorry, one last question. What was your favourite meal?
Whichever was the next one.
What did you like the food?
I could not stop eating.
Yeah, that's not the answer to
Yeah,
the
the
question,
food was
is
good.
it?
I mean, you did get a bit institutionalised, and you sort of followed the progress of the prawns. The prawns were in a sort of a salad on Monday, they were in mayonnaise on Tuesday, and then they were in the fish pie. Don't have the sushi after day 2.
I kept eating it all week.
Did you?
Yeah, because I couldn't find anything else I particularly liked. But anyway, it was a great experience. And next year we're going to go and do it, you and I together.
Titchmarsh is on board next year. He's on the telly, look. Do you know that?
Maybe we'll go the year after.
Oh, I've got a present for
I
you.
do like Alan Titchmarsh. I do, but you know, a boat is a combined
It's a liner,
space.
don't call it a boat.
Sorry, a ship.
Yeah, no,
A liner.
it's a liner.
Did you enjoy it? Are we going back next year?
I would do it again.
Okay.
Which I didn't necessarily. Do you want a mince pie?
Oh, how good and lovely and seasonal. Can I take one and have it later?
I made these.
Did you?
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Yeah, I think they're better than last
Very
year's. Last
pretty.
year's were a bit tough.
But they look good. Anyway, which is the most important thing, isn't
Do you
it?
actually like mince pies?
I do like mince
Toss it
pies,
in the
but
dustbin.
I like them with brandy butter and a load of cream. So, someone said to me they make a rum sauce for their mince pies. Is that not a bit overkill?
They might be.
Do you think? I think it's a bit of overkill, but
I've got very good pastry fingers.
you're very pasty
I was going to
fingers.
say after last week, my fingers just literally, and the rest of me just look like mouths of pastry.
So you're looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah, and the next week,
Yeah. How did you get in today? Because it's chaos
trains,
out there.
trains, then
Trains, boats, and automobiles.
Yeah, then I walked to Waterloo, like an ice rink it was.
There's all these stations closed on the Jubilee line as
Yeah.
well. I don't know, because there's no staff apparently.
Yeah, because they can't get in.
It is baffling. I'm going to be talking